what I'll be introducing is the Leica 35mm Pre ASPH Summilux. So I think recently Leica has announced that they're reissuing a steel rim, and so I thought it would be quite relevant to do a video on what I see as the perfect steel rim alternative. So obviously, for those who don't know, the steel rim is actually the first version of this lens. It was created in quite a limited production run from the early 1960s. The steel rim, it was quite a limited production run, and they only had about 3,000 to 4,000 copies available in the market. The steel rim is one of the most collectible Leica lenses. Nowadays, to fetch a good copy, you'd be paying anywhere over 20 to 30,000 US dollars for a copy. So as much as I really love that lens, unfortunately that budget, it's a bit out of my budget. So why people are so crazy about the steel rim is for two reasons. Number one, it has a characteristic, what we call Leica glow. So when you shoot wide open at f1.4, it has a very, very characteristic sort of Leica glow, or holy light, and it would be translated in Chinese. So that's why people really like that lens, because that's something that you can not find on a modern day lens. On the other hand, when you stop down to f2.8 and above, then you actually get very sharp and clear images. So, you know, to have one lens that can have two sort of characteristics at different apertures is something quite unique to Leica and to the steel rim. So the lens I have here is a what we call version 2 of the Summilux 35mm. So it's quite a long production run. It was produced from 1964 to 1995, so almost a 30-year sort of run. And I think it's a lens that's often overlooked and undervalued by Leica photographers, because at a fraction of the price of the steel rim. So I believe that this lens at the moment goes for around 2,500 to 3,000 US dollars. You can actually get very similar looks with the steel rim. So I think this lens works well in two conditions. Number one would be in black and white photography, obviously, because this is an older lens. Okay, so you're not going to get very strong colors and very strong contrast. Okay, but for black and white photography, where you're looking for a bit less contrast, I think this lens really shines. So that's why we're going to take a black and white film and go out and shoot some photos today. I'll also show you guys how this lens performs under different apertures, so at f1.4, and stopping down and showing you guys how the lens performs under different conditions. And I'll put it on a digital body as well, so we can sort of appreciate the differences there as well. In terms of why I like this lens so much, so obviously the first thing would be the size. Okay, look, this lens it's amazing how it's an aperture 1.4 lens, but it's so small. All right, and it's very portable, and I've also attached it to my digital bodies as well, for Nikon and Leica, and it's an absolute joy to take out and shoot with. So number two is that it's just really usable. So like the focus ring is very smooth, the aperture ring, it clicks nicely, so it just gives you a lot of confidence and reassurance when you're using the lens. So as I mentioned, it works best with black and white photography, film and digital as well. And some of the, well, disadvantages to some people is that this lens is not sharp in modern day terms, and it also tends to vignette quite a bit. But I think if you're playing with such a specialty sort of lens, then I think that's something that you're actually looking for. So to me, that's actually an advantage, that it's soft, it vignettes, and it has that sort of Leica glow to it. So it's something very unique, which I think you can't sort of replicate with modern day lenses, and it just makes the shooting experience very unique. So we'll post some photos and go and shoot, and then we'll show you guys how it's like. So here we are in Central. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning, and I have Ilford 36 400 with me. This is HP5. So we're gonna do some black and white photos.
Yeah, the 27.
Doing this on the surface is not highly recommended. I mean, you gotta love how compact this setup is. It basically weighs nothing, and I can fit like 2 cameras in a 3-liter Peak Design sling, which is pretty amazing. So yeah. Sort of perfect condition for black and white photography. You're getting a lot of lights and contrast in the scenes. Again, a lot of light, a lot of contrast and shadows. Yeah, alright, so done shooting. I'm gonna process this film and see how this lens shines on black and white. That's how you burn film. Anyway, that is my review of the Leica 35mm Summilux Pre ASPH. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe.